Okay, in this video, doing something a little bit different, I'm going to go through some answers to a homework sheet that I set for my 10 General Maths class before the holidays. So here are some answers for that. I'm going to do it in two parts. So the first part will be the first side of the sheet and the second part will be the second side of the sheet. So to start with, we had a question where it said if y was equal to mx plus c, what does the m stand for and what does the c stand for? So our m stands for the gradient of the line, and the c stands for the y-intercept. And then we had our next question where we had y equals 3x minus 5, and we wanted to say what the m was and what the c was in this particular equation. So in this equation, our m is 3, our gradient is 3, and our y-intercept is negative 5. It's important to include that negative with it when we answer our question. Then we had some questions about parallel and perpendicular lines. So for parallel lines, they have the same gradient. And to get the gradient of a perpendicular line, to get your gradient, we do negative 1 divided by the original gradient. So we can also say that they multiply to give negative 1. But it's easier just to use this format because that helps us to work it out. Now, if a line has a gradient of 3, then a parallel line to that is also going to have a gradient of 3. A perpendicular line to that one is going to be negative 1 over that gradient, which is 3, so its gradient will be negative 1 on 3. The next question on our list, we had another parallel and perpendicular line question. So if we had y equals 2x plus 3, then its gradient is 2. A line parallel to that is also going to have a gradient of 2, and a line perpendicular to that is going to have negative 1 over 2 as its gradient. Then we moved on to some horizontal and vertical line work. So for horizontal lines, they always have the format of y equals c, and our vertical lines always have the format of x equals k, or you can put in any letter. It's basically whatever value that we have for x, that's the number we're going to sub in there. So a couple of questions using that. If we've got a horizontal line that goes through 2, 4, we're going to write it as y equals something, and we're looking for the y value in that coordinate. So it's going to be y equals 4. Down here with our vertical line, we're then going to be looking at the x value, and it's 2. So its equation would be x equals 2. The last thing on that first side was a solving simultaneously by graphing question. So we're going to fill in some tables of values. So we've got y equals 2x plus 4. I gave the table to fill in, so we're simply subbing that x value into the equation to find the y. So 2 times negative 2 is negative 4, plus 4 is 0. 2 times 0 is 0, plus 4 is 4. And 2 times 2 is 4, plus 4 is 8. So that gives us some coordinates to graph there. So we've got negative 2, 0. 0, 4, and 2, 8. And we can join that with a nice straight line. And there's our first line, y equals 2x plus 4. Then we can do our next line, y equals negative x plus 10. So whatever our x value is, we're going to do the opposite sign and then add 10. So negative 2 would become positive 2 plus 10 is 12. 0 would stay 0 plus 10 is 10. And 2 would become negative 2 plus 10 is 8. Now we can already see that there's a common coordinate between those two lines. So we could actually solve that before we even graph it, because we've seen that there is a common coordinate there. So when we graph this one, negative 2, 12, 0, 10, and 2, 8. And it looks like I didn't space my lines very well, but there we go. There's our equation, y equals negative x plus 10. And so we can see that they cross at 2, 8. So that is our solution to that, those two equations, our simultaneous solution for those two equations. On the next side of the sheet, I'm going through a couple more simultaneous solutions questions and then some distance and midpoint. So that will be in part 2, and I will link part 2 in this video in the comment section and link part 1 in the video of the other one.